Unlike that immigrant-bashing carnival barker Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton understands the enduring symbol of the United States of America is not the barbed wire fence, it is the Statue of Liberty. And so, my fellow Democrats, anger and fear had their moment last week, but now it is our time. Time to stand up for each other, stand up for our shared promise. Stand up for the goodness and the hope in every American heart. It's time to put a bully racist in his place and a tough woman in hers. The White House, Hillary Clinton, Tim Kaine, forward together, stronger together. The country we carry in our hearts is waiting.
That was Governor Martin O'Malley speaking to the Democratic Convention, and we are happy to be joined by the governor now. Governor, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Elaine. Good to be with you both.
Good to be with you. So that was a rousing, forceful speech that you gave here that brought this crowd to its feet. As we looked around this arena, people were cheering, applauding on their feet.
Fun.
I wonder, Governor, did you take a different approach to this speech than perhaps other speeches during the primary? Was there a different kind of feeling here?
Not really. I mean, I've had a lot more practice than most of the people out there because I ran for president. So it's not on. I mean, many of the things I said this evening were things I might have first said in Iowa or New Hampshire, and it's just a culmination of the sentiments that I learned. I mean, it was a great blessing to be able to run for president. Wish that I had been able to win, but nonetheless, it was a great honor to be able to get that sense of our nation. And so that was what those remarks reflected.
It's not often that I will be sitting next to a governor at a national convention and feel overdressed. So I wonder, I mean, you are, this is a business casual look, but it seemed too loose. You seemed in the moment. You seemed there was a loose and jocular delivery. I think
well, sometime in the course of the campaign, we discovered that I do much better when I'm back in my usual mayoral attire. I mean, I don't think I ever went out at night as mayor and with community meetings, and that coat
looking for
off.
a pothole to fix.
That coat wasn't off in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So my son, who's with me here tonight, said, "Dad, you are not wearing the jacket tonight." I said, "But Will, everybody else is wearing the jacket." He said, "No, do not wear the jacket." So we found in the course of the campaign that it just makes you looser, and honestly, there's so much alienation in our country between ourselves and our leaders. Anything that can break down the distance is always helpful.
I wonder, Governor, do you feel less constrained at this point in your political career because there was, as Josh was noting, a seemingly different tone to your approach and your remarks, a sense of fiery sort of passion that some might say they would have loved to see more of on the campaign trail during the primary?
Well, if they were living in Iowa or New Hampshire, they saw it. but not able to get out of Iowa, I wasn't able to springboard and take it nationally. Just because you put your boat in the river doesn't mean you control the currents.
But that's always been there, I guess, is the question. This has always been there. The person that we saw on that stage.
Well, I think I got, as I indicated, we all try to grow and we all try to improve in whatever it is that we do. And I've had a lot more practice, I think, than others because I ran this year. And so I hope I improved every day. A woman in Iowa, true story, said to me, "Mr. O'Malley, this is my husband and my third time coming to see you." And I said, "Well, how am I doing?" She said, "We're seeing a lot of growth." And I said, "Well, is that how you decide who you're going to support?" And she said, "As a matter of fact, it is. My husband and I see as many of you as many times as possible, and whichever one grows the most."
There you go.
So I hope I've grown. We all try to grow, and but it was very much like the sentiment in the crowds that we were talking to in Iowa and New Hampshire.
And perhaps, Governor, the subject matter helped you find a certain.
Oh, I tell you what, man, the clear choice between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump Trump, and those two visions absolutely just so very, very stark. Anybody with moral fiber in their body has to get off the couch and get engaged in this campaign. Talk with our neighbors. We'll run into some people that might be infatuated with this vehicle of anger that Donald Trump has made himself. But we need to talk through this as a people. The things he espouses are not in keeping with the longer traditions of our country or the country our grandparents loved.
Speaking of those traditions, earlier today, we heard from him. Traditionally, the candidate of the other party tends to step back as the convention of the opposition is underway. He did not. Instead, spent about an hour in a wide-ranging press conference discussing many topics, but making a real headline today were comments that he made seeming to invite Russia to hack away. And if they, in fact, he lined up Hillary Clinton and the emails that whose deleting has been in headlines as well. He seemed to invite Russian agents to deliver those to the American people and to the American media if they had them. What do you make of what seemed to many to be a presidential nominee inviting espionage?
Yeah, I found it was outrageous. In fact, I was outraged before that. This is the first time since Watergate that we've had a burglary of the DNC headquarters. Now, it wasn't burglars with screwdrivers. It was burglars with their cyber tools, and all indications are that it's the Russians that did this. I don't know why. He's kind of a weird guy, but Donald Trump seems to have a fetish for dictators, and he is also the only candidate in modern times to say that we should pull back from NATO. America pulling back from NATO would strengthen Putin's hand. So it doesn't surprise me that the Russians would be doing these sort of dirty tricks to try to skew the election for Donald Trump. A more decent man would have repudiated the break-in of the DNC computers and the DNC emails. Instead, Donald Trump did what he did and tried to conflate it and connect it to other issues. But look, the key here is this. A foreign government is trying to affect the outcome of this election. We know that Donald Trump has a fetish for these strong dictators, often says nice things and glowing things about Putin. We also know that his campaign manager, Paul Manafort, has had clients that are a virtual rogues gallery of authoritarian and dictatorial leaders from places in the world that nobody else would work for. And we also know that Russian oligarchs very close to Putin have made investments in various Donald Trump projects. So these are all questions that should concern and trouble all of us. And I'm outraged that there would be a break-in of a major party's headquarters, frankly, and more of us aren't ripped about it.
To that point, we often have wondered if a transgression or an issue or a moment might be the Rubicon across which Donald Trump could not cross back.
Well, this could be it. I'll tell you, you talk to Americans who already are made uncomfortable by his immigrant-bashing ways. And I was with people earlier today who are from the Ukraine, from Bosnia, from Hungary, or whose ancestors are from Poland. And this is pretty harrowing for them. This is very real, and is not such a distant memory in their families, the sort of KGB activity and the repression of the former Soviet Union and now this guy's regime, which needs to be distinguished from the Russian people. But this is a really troubling turn of events here, and all of us as Americans should be pretty concerned. I think Ronald Reagan would be rolling over in his grave if he saw that the nominee of his party says such glowing and cozy things about Putin, fawns over him as if he's his lapdog. It's disgusting.
Before we let you go, Governor, I just have one final question. Would you consider another White House bid?
Boy. Look, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine win this race, and that's what I'm focused on. And hopefully, if we all do our part, our country will be better for it. That's what I believe.
All right, Governor Martin.
So that's a.
Yes, exactly.
I would say that. I think that was a oi. I hope not.
The oi. I believe we got that quote oi. All right, Governor Martin O'Malley, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.